everybody, I'm Aphrodite Rose Starfire, and I wanted to share with you my dream that I had about a couple hours ago. It was very vivid, and I don't know, so I was it involves my old roommate Priya, who I lived with in Santa Barbara, Isla Vista in like 2003, 2004. And Priya was from Sweden, but she was adopted from Sri Lanka. So she had very, very dark complexion. Extremely beautiful girl. She had extremely dark skin, very huge white eyes, beautiful features, long, wavy, dark hair. She was very short, like 5 foot, but she had a Swedish accent. She was very like aggressive and like opinionated. I actually had invited her. She came with me home for Thanksgiving that year. I was there in Santa Barbara, and she was very wealthy, and this was the story that she told, that she was adopted from Sri Lanka as a baby, and that she was born a princess, and her mother, out of wedlock, her mother was a princess, and her mother had her out of some affair, and so she had to give her up for adoption. But then there was also this other story, because she had gone there the year before, and some people knew her, and I guess she was this pathological liar and told everybody she had an identical twin, and would show pictures of herself, but say, oh no, that's not me, that's my twin. But they're like, were no pictures of them together. So anyways, I haven't thought of this girl for a really long time, and the other thing about her is she was older. She was like 30, and I was like 19, 20 at the time. But she acted like she was 19. But she was crazy. Anyways, so in my dream a few hours ago, it was like I was in a dorm room, but it wasn't my old dorm room. It was just like a regular dorm room, but it was like also a hotel. And I walk into the bedroom, and Priya's like frantically packing her stuff. Like all of the stuff's all over. There's like her bed and my bed, and then like all of her stuff is all over the place. And she's packing, and she's kind of like very agitated and kind of just like huffing and puffing. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I'm leaving. I'm going back home. I'm going to raise horses. I'm going to train my horses. And I'm like, okay, like, is everything okay? And she's like, yes, I just can't take it anymore. And then I look over to like the living kind of room area of the studio apartment, and there is a goat that has been sacrificed. And it's like a large goat. It's not one of the little baby goats. It's like a large goat with horns like horns like that. And it's blonde. It's like a blonde, yellow-haired goat. And it's laying on its side, and its neck, it's like its neck has been like removed, but its spinal cord was intact, and its like back was still intact. And I'm like, what's this? And Priya's like, oh, because I'm leaving, the hotel comes and sacrifices a goat because I'm leaving. And I'm like, oh. And she's like, oh, they do it for everybody. Like, I didn't even want it done, but like they just come up and do it. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's weird. And I'm kind of like, oh, are they gonna clean it up? Like, and as I'm talking to her about it, the goat starts moving. Like it raises its head and kind of starts like twitching and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, they didn't even kill it right. Like they didn't even finish the job. So I'm just kind of like, this has actually happened in real life to me with animals that haven't been killed the right way. Like, where I feel like I need to like end the suffering and finish the job. So I start frantically looking through this like stuff that's all over this, you know, apartment, and I'm looking for my surgical tools. And it's like, I know where it's like I have memories in this dream, and I'm having like thoughts in my dream. And I'm like remembering where my stuff is in this room. And I'm like going through Ziploc bags, and I'm going through my surgical tools. And all I'm finding, I'm like looking for a knife. Like, is there a knife? Is there a knife? And I know there's like butter knives. I'm like, I can't even try with a butter knife. Like, that's ridiculous. And I'm like going through my surgical tools, and all I'm finding are like mosquito clamps and like large clamps. I'm like, that's not going to do anything. So I go across the hallway to the neighbor, and it's like this guy. And I'm like, do you have a knife? Do you have a knife? And he like has one like right away. And he's like, here. And it's like this big butcher knife. I'm like, awesome. I'm like, call the front desk. Tell them I want somebody up here right now. Right now. Bring somebody up here right now. Don't even like let them give you any excuses. I want somebody up here immediately. And I go back into the room, and now the goat is like standing on all fours, like standing on this. There's like a rug, and there's no blood. So I go over to the goat, and I just kind of like lay it back down, and I go and I like, now it's like has no head. It just like has a nub of the spinal cord, and I like cut the spinal cord all the way through. And then I like open the legs up, and I cut, I'm like trying to dig in to find the femoral arteries to bleed it out. Cause like the people who sacrificed this goat didn't even bleed it out. So I'm trying to cut the groins for blood, and it's like all dried up. So finally I get some blood coming out, and I'm just like really angry, and I was like, where are those people? Like, I want to like scold the people for just botching this sacrifice. Like, they didn't even do it right, and the goat was like suffering and wasn't even dead. It was like just such a waste. And I was so angry about that. They had the audacity to sacrifice something and not even to do it correctly. And then I think I woke up. So I think that's all really symbolic. Yeah, tell me what you think. Bye.